Just a quick disclaimer before we start this video. I love Shane, I'm a huge fan, and I just have some thoughts and reactions to this series, and so I feel like, hey, I have a reaction channel, don't I? So I might as well just go ahead and... Hey, what's up, dudes? Yes, welcome to another video. Like I said, I wanted to continue my reviews and reactions on Shane Dawson's 8-part series, The Mind of Jake Paul. And so for this video, we're going to be talking about part 5. I really enjoyed part 5. If you didn't, hear me out. So right off the bat, we see that my fear, and if you don't know what that was, I'm gonna link it so you can go check it out. But my fear on the last reaction was that Shane was going to bring in Katie, the therapist, and do something sketchy or shady and try to diagnose Jake without him knowing, or just try to do some hidden camera moments and not make Jake say things, but put in the episode things that Jake said that he didn't know were going to be put in the episode. So I was feeling a little iffy about that, but right off the bat, Shane cleared that out and said Jake authorized all of that. Hey, if Jake said he could do it, I mean, all bets are off, but I think it made for an interesting episode for part 5. We did, however, see a lot of the sociopath themes coming back when, you know, Jake would do something or say something, words that would be relating to what Katie said about a sociopath, they would be popping up at the bottom. So to me, that was like, okay, so we are trying to diagnose Jake, or what's going on? I think we're still on that. That's fine. I kind of didn't pay attention to that part, with the words, just because I'm kind of over that aspect. I'm excited to see more about Jake as a person and his motivation behind what he does, him being controversial, and just seeing the human behind the videos. First of all, can we talk about the Lego in the wall? Listen, I have proof of that, okay? My Harry Potter reaction video, I have proof that I'm all about that Lego life, okay? So thank you, The Mind of Jake Paul, for introducing me to that idea. That was pretty incredible. The house was insane, but Shane already fangirled for all of us, I guess.
Wait, I want to join Hello?
Another thing, if you noticed, Shane found his Diet Coke even in Jake's house, which is pretty iconic to me. Hashtag not spons, but I feel like Diet Coke should definitely sponsor him at some point. One part that I personally enjoyed was when Shane was sitting down with Jake in the studio, and they were talking about how both of their parents got divorced, both of them were 8, both of them did construction with their dads, and well, Shane didn't like it, and I thought that was a really interesting bonding moment, because puts it into perspective that you might have people that seem so different in front of a camera, but when you actually sit down and talk to people and you listen to them and you see their experience, it's interesting to see that you might have a lot in common. I think that was really nice to see them bond in that way. Obviously, Shane can't be too biased or partial. Part of having Jake and everyone around them trust Shane is that human aspect. He still brought it back to, like, hey, we have a lot in common. Let's keep talking, show me your life. Let's continue this and see where it takes us. Which brings me to my next point, which to me was the best thing on YouTube thus far, and to that one friend that I talk about the series with, was the worst thing on YouTube so far, which is the ATV scene where Shane and Jake and Katie, I guess, I don't remember who was there, it doesn't matter, but they go and they do the ATV. Listen, I don't do sports, I don't do cars, I don't know what, but that was pretty iconic. I was dying the whole time. It was hilarious. I didn't know I needed to see that in my life, but I really did. Some people might have felt differently about it, like my one friend. So I was talking to her about it. I think it goes back to part of the human connection where they were bonding, they were having fun. Shane was there to have fun. He wanted to see what Jake was like, and I think that was an important part to add that he is this daredevil, my friend has a point, and I want to point that out because it brings it back to something that I think as well. I believe in hindsight, because you have no idea of knowing that until the parts come out, but watching part 5, I think that this could be part 3, not 5. Meaning, I feel like this series could be shorter. Does that make sense? For example, the episode that I didn't like, which you can see my reasons, I'll link it up there. Part 3. Shane, when he did that research, he had no way of knowing that Jake would open up about his family. But when he's editing all of this, of course he knows what happens, right? So I think perhaps eliminating part 3, for example, wouldn't have hurt the series at all. Because then you could have Jake talk about his family. You could have added the little bit of the family the little bitty part to part 1, where he talked to Einaber about Jake Paul, and called it a day. Because you would have made it, like 3 minutes longer, part 1, which is fine, instead of having like another 40-minute part. Because I think a lot of the things that are being added didn't necessarily have to be there. And I think it goes back to what my friend was saying about the ATV thing. She was just like, okay, well, I watched 1 minute and 20 seconds of them, but I can understand that after waiting 5 parts for Jake Paul to come and do something and having very little conversation with Jake in the part, and a lot of shots of his house, shots of them in cars, shots of them doing this, shots of them do that. I can understand where the frustration comes from. It's stretching itself too much, but that's just my opinion, and I guess my friend's, but she's not here to say anything, so it's just my opinion for now. Overall, like I said, I enjoyed this part. I don't know a lot about Jake or his family because I don't really follow them. So I'm enjoying to see what his friends are like. I'm enjoying to see his girlfriend. She seems like a sweetheart. I don't know her. And I think that's important to show the people around him who is there influencing the mind of Jake Paul. I don't know what else he's going to show in 8 parts. I'm excited to see what part 6 brings. I hope we get to see the interview with Jake, because if it's just another episode like Nick Crompton's where it's just an interview with Erica, I think it's going to go back to my point where, you know, stretching it. But I don't know. I can't say that. Maybe I'll be wrong. We have to watch the series before we can pass judgment on that. I will, as always, put the link to the part down below and you can check it out. Go show some love to Shane. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all the shebang. I post videos weekly. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and your constant support. I see you. I read your comments. I've just been having some ideas. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you later. Peace.